Okay, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? So this video right here went viral, and it's about a person who claimed that he's been stood up on a date, right? Now, the person that made this video, he goes by the name Jonathan Does Comedy on TikTok. And the link to this video is located in the video description box underneath because I'm not going to play this video on here. So if you want to watch it in entirety, the link to this is located in the video description box underneath. Actually, it's the first link in the video description box because the second link in the video description box is a link to Tampa Supreme's video that he made about the same topic. Shout outs to him because he's partially my inspiration for making this video. So, Tampa Supreme, he went in on this video, on this person. He went in his video. So, all right. But once again, like I said, this person made this video claiming that he was supposed to be out on a date with a female that he spoke to for 2 weeks. And the female, and he made reservations, he brought flowers, but when he arrived to the actual place that they agreed to meet, he waited for 30 minutes and the female never showed up. And I'm assuming that within those 30 minutes, he called the female, texted the female, and most likely never responded back. So therefore, he was stood up, aka ghosted. So in the video, he started crying and started speaking about or asking why it's so hard out there in the world just to find the right person. And then he started talking about how all he wanted to be is a good man and be a husband. And the thing is that I look at this video from two different perspectives. One, this person is a comedian. Or like one perspective is that this person is a comedian on TikTok, right? Hence the name Jonathan Does Comedy. So most of his content are comedy skits. Therefore, this might be a satire video because a lot of comedians online engage in a lot of satire videos, right? Or maybe this person could be serious about what he experienced in this video. So let's assume perspective number two, in which this person was actually serious and really did get stood up on a date. All right. I find this to be a very big problem. Not the fact that he was upset at being stood up, but the way he displayed it, which is indicative of a lot of the black males online who come online and cry about Keisha, right? Who show up on these 8, 9, 10-hour live streams complaining about Keisha. For one, he don't seem to be thick-skinned, right? So if you're not thick-skinned, the last place you want to go to vent about how bad you feel about being stood up is on the internet. Because the majority of the people online are miserable fucking people who enjoy seeing bad things happen to people, thus will do one of two things. They'll either A, look at a video like this and poke fun at you, look at a video like this and poke fun of the person in the video, or B, pretend to support a person making a video like this, but then turn around and make a comment or create a narrative, or you'll create this doom and gloom, oh, the world is so bad narrative and how all females are bad narrative, just to further keep a person like this in a state of misery. Because miserable people love to see other people become miserable, and they love to make other people miserable. So therefore, the internet is the wrong place to go to in order to vent about these situations. These are the types of things where you must have close friends around you, true friends around you, or a true circle of friends that you can go to for so you can vent and y'all could have these types of conversations. And a true friend will listen to you without judgment and then tell you things that you need to hear, give you good advice, or while at the same time give you the motivation to make you feel better about yourself. That's what true friends do, and help heal you or help you get over this situation for so you could wipe the dirt off your back and move forward. But coming online and venting, nah, you at the wrong place. Going on the internet and inventing about this shit, nah, that's that's the wrong place. But once again, like I said before, this behavior is indicative to what you see with a lot of so-called black males on the internet, especially when it comes to the online community that we call the black manosphere, right? Motherfuckers do this shit all the time. And what I see with people like this, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. There's nothing wrong with being upset about being stood up, because no decent human being likes to be stood up on a date. Whether it's a date with a person that you had feelings for, or a friend that you're supposed to meet at a specific spot, or a family member, it's not, no one likes being stood up. I understand. I understand the disappointment and the anger one must have being stood up because their time was just wasted, right? That's what happened when a person stands you up. They've done wasted your time when they could have just had the damn audacity to communicate with you and just say, hey, listen, I have to cancel this arrangement that we agreed upon because of this, that, and whatever. Right? But some people are not, some people are not mature enough to do something this simple. And this is what brothers like him have to understand. He probably understands that, but I don't know. But yeah. But also, another thing I find disturbing about this video, that is if this person was being serious about what he was saying and assuming that this video is not a satire. What I find is that usually males like this who go online and constantly vent about how they've been either stood up or rejected by females usually lack self-worth. They lack self-worth, they lack self-love, and they try to seek this value that they should be placing on themselves, or that they should look within themselves, but they seek that from other people. And once they don't get it, they end up in a position of pain. And people who lack self-worth and self-love are usually people who have not really built a foundation within themselves. I remember making a video making this similar point a few months ago. A lot of people who do not have self-love or self-worth are usually people who lack a certain foundation that they need to have to make them the man or the woman that they need to be, right? And those foundations are values or principles, or a moral fiber, integrity, wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and all that other good shit. These are the key internal qualities that a person need in order for they could become that strong, solid human being, so they could go out there in the world and conquer and overcome any trials and tribulations. And when a person have this foundation and experience being stood up, they'll easily understand or easily realize that, hey, the person who stood them up did them a favor, and let them know that they was never shit to begin with. Therefore, a person who have these foundations built within themselves can easily move forward from the situation. Now, maybe they'll be upset at the time, but they'll only be upset at the short time and for a short time and move forward. It would not need to go online or go on the internet and make a video about being stood up and cry about it. And I'm not trying to put this person down for doing that. But what I'm saying is that when you do such a thing, you're operating off of a position of weakness. Shout out to Ty City, aka Uncut Underground, for always mentioning how it's wrong for males to operate from a position of weakness. You know, when it comes to people who stand you up on a date, you have to learn how to not give a fuck for people like that. You know, once again, I'm not trying to contradict myself because I remember I said a minute ago that it's important that there's nothing wrong to be upset about a situation like that. But after a while, you have to know how to not give a fuck, brush something like that off of your shoulder and move forward. Because in life, people will always get rejection, whether it's rejected by a person that you have a romantic interest with, or rejection when it comes to a job offer, or rejection when it comes to some sort of business proposition, rejection when it comes to opening an account somewhere, rejection when it comes to putting a down payment for or rejection when it comes to being accepted for a mortgage on a home. In life, you will be rejected. Or in this case, sometimes in life, people will do you dirty like that, and you have to learn how to easily bounce back from that. And not put so much care in it to the point of the fact that you're willing to put your face out there on the internet and cry about it. And then, like I said before, in this video, which I'm not going to play it. The link to this video is located in the video description box underneath. This person was basically stating, "Oh, why is it so hard out there?" while crying, and then saying how, "Oh, all I want to be is a husband. I want to be a good man." Basically, when people do that, what they're really saying is, "What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me?" And once again, when people have that type of mentality, it's because they lack the internal foundation that I just mentioned in this video. And another thing that this person said in the video that really rubbed me the wrong way, right, is he said something in terms of, I'm only paraphrasing what he said, how he tried to make himself. Basically, I'm only paraphrasing what this person said. He said something to the nature of, well, I try to be the man, or I try to be the good man that a lot of females claim that they want. Once again, I'm only paraphrasing. This is not the exact words he said, but he said it within that context. I try to make myself the man that all these females want. And I'm like, okay, once again, that's disturbing. Because once again, that's disturbing, because if you try to mold yourself, I'm not saying that there's something wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong being a good man, but when you try to mold yourself into something that you believe females like instead of just being yourself, that's a problem. That's a problem. And as a matter of fact, when you do that, when you see a male who tries, because that's what I gotten when someone says that. That's the way I interpret it. I interpret when you say that you try to make yourself into this quote unquote good man that females claim that they want. The way I interpret it when males say that is that they try to make themselves into the type of guy that they think females like, thus making themselves basically not being yourself. You're not being yourself. You try to mold yourself into something that's not you. Motherfucker, be yourself. And a person who's principled and who have a solid internal foundation, who have a moral fiber, thus establishing a level of self-worth and knowing their self-worth and loving thyself, is going to be themselves in front of anybody. And if a person doesn't like them while they're themselves, then guess what? A principled person is going to say, fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them and feed them beans. Shout outs to Big Gene for that. Shit. That's the way I am. I'm myself and I'm always going to be myself. And a person don't like me for me, fuck them. Shit. Damn. But once again, that takes a lot of internal, what word I'm looking for? It takes a lot of soul searching and a lot of self-reflection and understand thyself in order for you to get to that level. And I don't think a lot of males online do that. I don't think a lot of males online do that. Because when someone sits there and wastes quality time crying about someone that doesn't want them, they're basically seeking validation. Like my man Tampa Supreme said in his video about this topic. That's a very good point that he made. Once again, shout out to you, Tampa. And it's very dangerous for a person to try to seek validation from other people, because for one, you'll never get it, and two, you're not supposed to find validation from other people. You're supposed to look within yourself to seek that validation. Validation should come from within. Validation should not come from what's outside of you. It should come from within. And also, going back to the point that I made about this person stating how, once again, I'm only paraphrasing what he said, how he tried to mold himself to the man that women want and shit like that. Once again, the way I interpret that, when males say some type of shit like that, because I hear a lot of males say that dumbass shit or make statements of that nature. Once again, I interpret that as males molding themselves into something that they're not to try to impress a female. And when males do that, when males think like that, they're basically being a gynocrat. They're thinking gynocentric, like on a gynocentric level. Because when you look at the definition of being gynocentric, it's when things revolve around the thinking and the behavior of females. But that's the most simplest definition that I'm giving. I'm giving a very simplistic definition of the term gynocentric. It's when things revolve around what a female thinks, what a female perceives, what a female wants. And when you're the type of person, or the type of guy, when you try to mold yourself into something that you're not, just to impress a female instead of being yourself, you're being gynocentric automatically. And you're being a fucking simp. And once again, I'm not saying to not be a good person and not be good to a female and not treat a female right. You're supposed to do that. As a man, if you're interested in a specific woman, yeah, you're supposed to treat her right. You're supposed to be good to her. But it's supposed to be genuine. And you're not supposed to be good to her or mold you. It doesn't take you molding yourself into something that you're not in order to be good to her. You could be good to a person and still be your damn self. But males need to stop coming online and crying about being rejected or being stood up on a date and doing things like this. Because for one, there's much more serious things that males need to, especially so-called black males, need to worry about outside of some fucking broad standing you up. And also, like I said before, it makes you look very weak. And it's a shame that black males collectively, we already have an image in society in which people view us to be in a position of weakness. But to, and making videos like this is not making our image any better. Once again, I'm not saying that it's wrong for a person to express, to feel hurt and to express hurt. I'm not saying there's anything wrong for a person or for a man to express emotions when they are disappointed or when they are hurt. But you have to do it in a much more better way and keep that shit offline. Keep that shit offline. You don't have to cry. You don't have to go on the internet and cry. You could do that shit offline. You know, vent or do that offline. Do that behind closed doors. Vent. Do that around your close circle of friends. Vent. Get it off. You know, get that disappointment. You know, get that emotion out, and then pick yourself back up. Feel better and move forward, and have an understanding that there's better people out there. That's it. It's that simple. You know? So for a lot of you SBE all-stars out there, man, listen, man. You got to stop complaining about you stop doing that shit. Stop doing that shit. Anyhow, I'm out of here, man. Peace.